guys, look what just dropped. The Butterick Spring Collection. I didn't even see this anywhere. Just happened to stumble upon it while I was looking for patterns for an upcoming project. So, I don't know if you guys have seen these yet or not. I haven't heard any of you. Normally y'all will DM me and nobody said anything. So I'm wondering if these just flew under the radar for everyone. But I do want to take a look at them. It looks like there's 14 patterns. So let's take a look. I don't really know if anything has changed with Butterick since all of the branding and everything. I know, Simplicity went a lot simpler. It looks like McCall's is going for like the youthful, Gen Z / millennials. And I'm wondering where Butterick's going to fall in, because Butterick used to be, maybe still is, one of my favorite pattern companies. So we will see what we've got after this collection. I feel like we'll have a good sense of direction as to where they're going. But this very first pattern is interesting already. It is a women's jacket, dress, and top with multiple cup sizes: CD, double D, triple D, G, and H cup sizes. Can you guys think of anybody that is going up to an H cup? I know I can't. Now, I will say that obviously this eliminates anyone who is an AB cup. This is not going to be for you. You can obviously make it, but you'd have to do a small bust adjustment. So I just think that is so interesting. It's also only in women's. So 18 to 24 and then 26 to 32. So all of you 6 to 16s, it is not a misses pattern. This is just for our fuller figured gals. Okay, so now let's look at the pattern. We have got, can I zoom in? Yeah, okay. So we've got what did they say? Jacket, dress, and top. It looks like this is the dress. We'll take a closer look at that when we can see it better. But the jacket has some really pretty seaming here. I love the little sleeve cutout detail. And then we've got this lapel, but without the collar, which is a little bit interesting. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it in a contrast fabric. I can't tell if that feels very modern or if it feels like more of a throwback. Here's the top. So it has this really pretty notched neckline, sleeveless, and then also has this interesting little inset detail as well, breaking up the bust line from the waistline and hip line, which I think is really appealing to the eye, especially in a women's pattern. Same sort of situation for the dress. It has that same thing here. We've got a bust dart coming from the side seam and from the waist seam. I'm presuming that's a waist seam dart. They do seem a little high maybe for her. So, obviously with all bust darts, just, check them really carefully. But the shoulder line is really pretty. The neckline is laying really nicely. Lovely little shaped sheath dress. Are we going to get any alternate views? Okay, here's the back of the jacket and the dress. So the back jacket has this little like pleated vent thing, and then the skirt has a little kick pleat as well. Beautiful fisheye darts in the back. Invisible zipper also. It looks like bias bound arm openings. And that's it. Okay, just the one view. But having separate pattern pieces for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cup sizes, you guys must be just over the moon. I would just be thrilled if I were, one of these larger cup sizes. I mean, I can't even say how much easier life would be if we could, we all take it for granted that we just cut out a pattern and it's our cup size. But for those gals, I'm just so happy for you guys. Women's short jacket with back pleat, high waist dress, and top was what I just reading the description there. And then here is our line drawings again. Okay, cute. Let's look at the yardage. So linen, crepe, cotton blends, shantung. Yeah, but you can really make this year-round for any occasion. You want to throw holiday fabrics like brocade in there for the holidays, go for it. You could easily do some pretty eyelets. You could make this out of just about anything. Anything that's not super drapey is going to be perfect for this look. And then you just need a couple buttons for the sleeve on the jacket, invisible zippers for the top and dress. I don't know that you need a 22-inch zipper for the top, but nonetheless. And then single fold bias tape for the arm side. And then here are our fabric requirements for everything. And they did not catch on like like McCall's has, and give us actual usable finished garment measurements. But anyways, I'm just so happy about those cup sizes. So happy about that. That makes me feel like somebody's listening to somebody. You know what I mean? All right, next up we've got a Mrs. jacket, skirt, and pants. So Mrs. wrap jacket in 2 lengths, asymmetrical hem and skirt pant. Asymmetrical hem, skirt, and pants. Okay. So you've got this wrap jacket situation. Looks like it's princess seamed, full on notched collar. And then the way the wrap is constructed, it has like a couple little pleats. Oh, look at that beautiful zoom. That makes me so happy. Really pretty pleats here. Creating like that kind of ruching effect a little bit. But the darting is really nice too. Here's a closer look at the shoulder seam. This fits her beautifully. Beautifully. The fabric's a little bit funky, but... And then there's our pant hem with a blind hem. Really pretty. Okay, here is an entirely different take on the garment. So the jacket must have 2 lengths, or is this the same length? My mind is playing tricks on me. And this is a skirt, and then they did the collar in a contrast, which this contrast actually does feel a little bit modern to me. The asymmetrical hem is really pretty too. I'm getting already, I know we're only like a pattern and a half in, but I'm getting strong like Chico's vibes. So the demographic for Chico's, which is that like older millennial, 40-year-old-ish type of woman. She works, she has kids maybe, she kind of does it all. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this collection just right off the bat. Really pretty back seaming on the jacket. They really love a French twist with the hair. They gave it to both of them. So yeah, let's look at the line drawings though, because the jackets are 2 different lengths. And we have the skirt too. So jacket with a button closure and a contrast collar, 2 buttons. Then the jacket with the tie closure, a little bit longer, no buttons. Then we've got a simple, the waistband of the skirt is very, very simple. I imagine there's a facing in here, and that's about it. It looks like the zippers on the side, which I actually prefer. You cut both front and back on the fold. There's only side seams. And then for our little pant, same situation. Flat front pant, no waistband. There's just a facing inside, and you've got 2 pleats on the front and 2 pleats on the back, and that is it. No elastic though, so we're upgrading from elasticated pants at least. There was a moment there where, man, every single pattern was elastic. All right, this one requires crepe, cotton blends, linen, silk. Yeah, but I mean, obviously you can do like wool and wool blends for the winter. Another one of those pretty versatile patterns. And I also think for the skirt, you can see here, their skirt is a little bit drapier. Maybe they made it out of crepe. And so that's how they're able to get that drape. But I wouldn't make the skirt. I mean, you can. It would just be a little bit structured, and it would just stand away from the body a little bit more. All right, so you need shoulder pads for the jacket. You could totally tell in the blue version there was shoulder pads in there. It just hung from her so beautifully. 4 buttons for the sleeve, an invisible zipper for the skirt and the pants, and then a 1/2 inch wide twill tape. I think that is for the facing or the waistband, something in there. We have sizes 6 to 14 and 14 to 22. And then here is your fabric requirements. So a bit of a pattern hog, especially if you make all three, if you make the whole set, you're looking at probably almost 10 yards, right? 2.5, I'm just going to go on the large end, 2.5, 3, so that's 5.5. Oh, that's 2 jackets, so I guess you'd pick one or the other. All right, so we'll go with the 3-yard jacket, 2.25 for the skirt, 2.5. So what is that? 4 3/4 plus 3, 7 3/4, so almost 8 yards. Yeah, almost 8 yards to make all three. Okay, next up, Mrs. and women's jacket and skirt. So this is going to have a full extended size range. We've got 8 to 16, 18 to 24, and then 26 to 32. 3 different envelopes, though. They're not all in one, like indie patterns are. So you've got to find, whichever one most closely matches you. So it's a jacket and a skirt. So many separates. That's so interesting. This jacket has like a front band, I guess. A bit of a drop shoulder, but I can't tell if that's on purpose or if she just has a narrow shoulder. And then your sleeve comes down and it has this huge like flounce with a slit in it. You've got this waist seam here that creates this like asymmetrical flouncy situation. And then what looks to be a pretty basic skirt. This is the jacket in a much more structured fabric without the flounces. So really just like night and day there. It's hard to believe they're even the same pattern. And then there's her skirt. Here is the back. So this has the darting in the back. It's a little bit long-waisted for her too. Gosh, and this fabric's just real wavy. I don't know. And look what happened with the sleeve. Definitely some fit issues going on with this. And I've seen this before in Big Four where they do the misses and the women's together, and the misses ends up fitting beautifully, and the women's not so much. So, but I will say this one is about 1 inch too long on her waist as well. And maybe, the fabric is helping, this look a little bit better. This is obviously a more structured fabric. So, there you go. Here are our line drawings. Yeah, same skirt situation as the other one we saw without a waistband, with just a facing. And there's 2 lengths to them also. So both of them have a little vent in the back, and then just your standard 2 darts in the front, 2 in the back, and a center back zipper. Yeah, and definitely more of like a structured jacket versus like almost like a cardigan. So interesting to me that they're the same. And you know what? Like these pieces are probably all the same pieces. And I don't know. I just feel like a structured jacket fits closer than like a looser one. So maybe that's some of the issues they were having with the flowy jacket. Yeah, the fit on that just seems not great. Okay, so yeah, we've seen the line drawings. Here's the yardage. Crepe, gabardine, cotton blends, and linen. And then 2 1-inch buttons, hook and eye or decorative clasp, invisible zipper, hook and eye, 1/2-inch twill tape for the skirts, and then different lengths for the different size ranges. Here's our fabric requirements. So here's your jacket with the contrast neckband. And then here's the flowier jacket. And then we have the 2 skirts. All right, next we have a little dress. Mrs. Dress with A, B cups, C cups, and D cups. Separate pattern sizes for those 3 cup sizes. And this is a Mrs. dress too. So this is the smaller size range, but kind of angling toward fuller bust. So eliminating the need for Mrs. size range folks to have to do the full bust adjustment. So 8 to 16 and then 18 to 26 on the size range. So it still goes up quite a bit, 26, but not into the women's section. Okay, high-waist dress has pleats at front neck. Dress A has slim skirt and short sleeves. Dress B has flared skirt and long sleeves. Now you guys know I'm a sucker for a dress. So let's see if I'm able to kind of like chill out and not be obsessed with every single dress here. But this one has actually a lot of really interesting details. We've got this really pretty, almost like origami type of fold along the neckline, and there's one along the center front too. Normally you'll see them across the neckline, but never adding like a third one down here, which is really cool. It's also got pleating into this sleeve band, which is really fun. And it has a dart right here along the sides as well. And I'm imagining it's also in the back, and then you have this printed version. I can hardly tell what's going on. Same neckline, same seaming, just a long plain sleeve. There she is again, lady in red. In the back, we've got invisible back zipper. We've got the waist seam. We've got the same darting. So this almost acts as like a fisheye dart because it's pulling in all through the waist. There's shaping going on through here and here. So that's really nice. And then you've got your kick pleat too. Oh no! Look. That isn't even like they forgot to clip a thread. That's like the fabric shredding. Wow. It happens to the best of us, guys. All right, here's the back of the fuller skirt. So you can see it has the same details, the same fitting and shaping as the slimmer dress. It just has a flowier skirt, which I love. And look at this really pretty sleeve detail. I can't zoom in any more than that, but it looks like it goes all the way up to about here. Or is that just the print playing tricks on me? I don't know. And then you have your 3 buttons on the seam as well. Another bit of a funky sleeve. Maybe the sleeve heads are all just so small. I don't know. Maybe their block has something to do with like sleeve heads being funky. Okay, so there's our line drawings. I think we've pretty much found everything. This isn't indicating any kind of slit, so I think that I must have just, the print must just be playing tricks on me. And I did miss this itty bitty dart right here too, in the front of both of them. Yardage is cotton blends, crepe, linen, ponte. Yeah, this for a ponte for sure. And then for the lighter weight one, you could even go into, did they say crepe? Yeah, they said crepe. You could do, they said cotton blends. Okay, yep. I wouldn't go into like challis or anything like that just because this is a little bit fitted. And it's not meant to be like drapey per se. It has to have a little bit of structure to it. All right, here is our fabric requirements. Not a ton. I mean, dress B has more because it's longer and has the long sleeve. But if you made the fuller skirt in a shorter length, omitted the sleeve or made it short sleeve or something, you could definitely get away with 2 yards for this. And all the cup sizes. All right, next up we have this little cutie, again with the bust cups. I'm sensing maybe a trend. This is Mrs. Dress Sash and Belt with A, B, C, D, and double D bust cup. Now my thing is, why doesn't every pattern that has the cup sizes, why aren't they all the same? Like why was the first one missing the AB and this one has double D but the last one didn't? You know, like why can't they be consistent with it? I don't understand that part. But either way, this is described as Mrs. Button bodice front dress with side zipper, sweetheart neckline, sleeveless or short sleeves, straight or full skirt, sash, and belt. Okay, so let's take a look at this neckline. Super pretty. I don't know, is that a sweetheart neckline? It just looks kind of like a V-neck to me. Sweetheart, I thought went like this, but maybe I'm mistaken. This also has that same button band as, oh man, what was the name of that? Dawn McCall's, where you're sewing like convex and concave curves together in a weird way. That button band was pretty difficult to do. And this has the same thing, but at least this one's only half. But then at the same time, the bottom half was the easy part. So this is likely that same similar neckline. We've got big poofy sleeve into a armband that looks very close fitting. I mean, I don't think she can really flex a muscle in that. We've also got some bust darts that appear to be a little bit high and long. Like I'm trying to figure, I think this is probably her bust apex and these are just kind of not in the right place and they're too long on top of that. So, but bust darts are one of those things that's kind of unique to every body, so you should be checking those anyways. But we also have this sash, and then you've got your skirt. This is the fitted skirt, and it has some darting here, I think. Oh, this is a really pretty version. I might just be into solid. Look how long this dart is. This is her apex right here, my goodness. So yeah, I would definitely check those on this pattern. The self belt is really, really cute. And then the full skirt does not have any darts at all. All right, and then we just have a couple more pictures here. I want to see the back. Thank you. Okay, so, oh, there's a little button back here. So I guess you could unbutton it, but it still looks very, very close fitting. But that's how you get your hand and wrist and everything through the sleeve. Which also means that you probably have to button and unbutton it every time, and that's just like an awkward place to button something. But we've got long back darts, and then also darts going down the skirt as well. Yep, and then this one just has the bust darts, or the bodice darts. Okay. So here are our line drawings. I think we pretty much found everything. I do like the side zip. I like the back is nice and clean. Cute. All right. Fabrics are cotton blends, linen, poplin, crepe. Yeah, totally. And then you've got 3/4 inch buttons. That's for the front. 5 for A, 3 for B. Oh, I guess the 3/4 inch buttons are on the button band too. Interesting. That's a big button. 1 2-inch buckle, package of single fold bias tape for the armscye. And then your sizing is 6 to 14 and then 16 to 22. And here is our fabric requirements on this one. Okay. Next up, we have this cutie little dress. It's just Mrs. Dress, sizes 8 to 16 and then 18 to 24. Mrs. High Waist V-neck dress in 2 lengths with drawstring, ruched skirt, and sleeve variations. Okay, let's get into it. Here is the bodice. Oh, here is the high-waisted seam. And then it has these little like gathers underneath the bust. And then it also has this ruching going on here, which feels a lot like that same ribbon detail that I posted about with that sweater. I wonder if there's elastic in here, or if there's a casing, or what is going on, because I love that detail. And then this sleeve has a bit of like a poof to the sleeve cap, and then also something going on here that I can't really see. This one has, it does look like a casing, doesn't it? That goes into this like flounced skirt, giving you that midi length. It's also a fishtail where it's fitted through the hip and then flares out at below the hip. Is it fish? Mermaid? Maybe mermaid. And then you've got your deep cuff. You've got a gathered little sleeve into the cuff. So here's a close-up of her sleeve. There's got to be like a little ruched detail in there as well. Here's the back. So no real seaming in the back. It just has her. Is that one there? Or is that a stem? I think that's a stem. You just have your horizontal waist seam and your center back seam. Here are our line drawings. Yeah, 1000%. Oh, I didn't even see the little tie. So this is that same detail, you guys. The same one that I used on that burgundy sweater. And then you've got a little gather here, a little gather here, a little gather here. And then both of them actually had the flounced skirt. One of them is just longer than the other one. Interesting. Interesting that there's not a center front seam. This seam, I think, is just moved over to here. I think this is an actual seam. I think. I'm not even sure, though, to be honest. But I think it is. Lots of interesting details on this one. All right, there's the line drawings we just saw. Double Georgette, satin, crepe, silk, and then lining fabrics. So what is lined? Only less than a yard of lining, so I'm guessing it is just the bodice. It doesn't say in the description. But I guess with that V, in order to finish that really pretty, they have you line just this part here. Invisible zipper, single fold bias tape, elastic, I think that's for the sleeve detail, and then 4 buttons, which is for the cuff detail on that other one. And then here is our fabric requirements. So, yeah, a little bit of fabric on this one. It's that skirt. It's the bottom part of the skirt here for sure. All right, then we have this little dress, Mrs. and Women's. Man, okay, 8 to 16 and then 18 to 24. So to make it a women's dress, they've just added on 1 size. That makes no sense to me. Just make them all women's and add on the 1 size to all of them. I don't get the rhyme or reason behind the sizing at all. But this is a elastic waist dress. It looks like there's actually 2 rows of elastic in here. You have this really pretty sleeve with the elastic at the bottom and this little notched neckline and then the pockets. Now, knowing that this is a full busted woman, I think it's kind of, they maybe should have left the pockets off. It's just the bottom of the pocket is hitting right at her full bust. Like, that's not going to look good on anybody. Plus, it's a teensy bit tight through the bust as well. Granted, she's just a fit model. They did not make this custom for her. I understand that. But nonetheless, they should have gotten some reference of sizing for her. It's also, I don't know if it's drop shoulder or if this is just low on her, but it is kind of hanging off her shoulder a little bit. And then the Mrs. size looks great through the bust, and they didn't put the pockets on hers, so I don't get it. Same everything. It looks to be the same everywhere. Oh, this one has 2 ruffles. That's actually really pretty. Here, let's get the faraway view. I actually do like that double tier a lot. So there's hers and there's hers. Also on hers, the shoulder is hitting about right here. So a little bit long on her as well. I don't think it's meant to be a drop shoulder. I think it's just a little bit long through the shoulder line. But look at it on this one. Like, that is like for sure hanging off her shoulder. Cute little shirt tail hem on this one. All right, let's see the line drawings. So, yeah, definitely not meant to be a drop shoulder at all. So I would 1,000% check that on this pattern for sure. And then if you are full busted, I would figure out a way to add some more ease in here. It looked to be okay on like an AB cup, but I think anything above that, you probably want to double check and make sure there's enough ease through the bust. This was, yeah, the 2 rows of elastic, and then you have the 2 different skirt hems, but the sleeve is the same and the neckline is the same. So our yardage, challis for the flowy skirted version, crepe, cotton blend, and peach skin. You don't see that very often in a fabric suggestion. This one I think takes a little bit more structure, whereas this one I think is better suited for it to be a little bit more flowy. So it just depends on the version that you're making. You need a little bit of elastic, and that's it. And then here's our fabric requirements. Dress B takes so much fabric because instead of, like, in ready to wear, they would have this bottom layer would be like some kind of lining fabric all up in here, and then only like around here down would be the self fabric. But they didn't do that, and so they have this entire panel under here is all your self fabric, which is expensive and, you know, not a great way to make a garment. So you can easily, you know, convert the top part of this bottom tier to lining and save yourself a bunch of money on fabric that way. All right. Cute dress though. All right, next up we have this guy. This is Mrs. Fit and Flare high-waist dress, has princess seams and sleeve variation. So it looks like we've got the same situation as that dress a couple dresses ago, with the underbust seam with the gathers. This one just happens just to be a flat panel, no waist seam of any kind, no belt, no nothing. I actually really like that, and I think that this is flattering on a lot of body shapes, including the Apple girls out there. I know you guys struggle a little bit with dresses, and I think that this is a cute way to get a fitted top, but loose where you need it. And then we've got, I hope that's meant to be a 3/4 sleeve. It does have a little bit of puckers here, so I'm hoping that that's like a gathered situation. And again, with the notched neckline. They're just loving the notched neckline. This one, super pretty, right? So pretty in a print. And then this one has a little sleeve ties. Yeah, that one looks great on her. I don't know what it is. The coloring of it is just so pretty. Here's the back. Hard to tell what's going on, but I think the back is just one single, not one single piece, but I don't think there's any seams going horizontal on the back. I think you've got your princess seam here and your center back seam, and then the other princess seam over here somewhere. So yeah, if that's the case, this is going to take up lots of fabric. Yeah. And this does look to be a little bit of a 3/4 sleeve. And the puckers in the gathers in the sleeve cap are intentional. Center back seam. Yeah, it's cute. Ponte, crepe, linen, challis. Yeah, a lot of different fabrics for this one. You could even do cottons if you wanted. And then just a couple yards for the color block version. A couple yards of one color and 1 yard of the other color, or print or whatever. And then for the one that's all one print, it's 3¼ yards. So yeah, bit of a hog, but because these are all, one piece without any sort of breaking it up at all, that's how that happens. Okay, next we're moving into tops now. We have Mrs. and Women's top. So this comes in 8 to 16 and then 18 to 24. It is a little V-neck top with this flounce collar, which you guys know I love. It also has an elastic waist situation and then also some elastic in the sleeve, but like that creates this little pretty, I don't know, flouncy situation. Very cute. Here is another sleeve length. Wow, look how pretty this lilac color is on her too. Sorry. Okay, so you have the sleeve with a flounce here. That's a little bit shorter than the other one, but you still have this neckline flounce. And with this, you just have to find fabric that is pretty from the right side and the wrong side, and it's kind of the same from both, because, this flounce shows the wrong side. Like right here, technically is the wrong side. You know what I mean? Like right here, that's the wrong side. And you'll get lots of practice at baby hems. And they did theirs a little bit sheer, and she's just rocking out the sheer top. Love it. Here's the back. So the little flounce goes all around your neckline, and then here's the waist elastic again. Pretty. Oh, here's the line drawings. Yeah. Oh, and it even has little bust darts. I missed that. But yeah, I like this little sleeve detail. I like this one even better with the longer. That was what the last girl was wearing. This one. Okay, yardage is challis, crepe de chine, double georgette, and satin. Yeah, for these you really need something lightweight, something drapey. What would be exceptional is my favorite of the moment, crinkle rayon from Joann. That would be an exceptional choice for this, for sure. And then you just need a little bit of elastic. And then the fabric requirements are around 2 yards. But this one could easily be made into a dress as well if you just lengthen it. I mean, they all could, but this one with the waist seam would be particularly flattering, I think. All right, now we've got this cute little top. Mrs. Pullover top has knot front, back keyhole neck closing, and sleeve, tie, and neckline variations. Comes in sizes 6 to 14 and 16 to 24. I genuinely do not understand why they couldn't have just added a size and made it women's. Like, I don't get it. Either way. It has the notch neckline, which is the neckline of the collection for sure. It has the same sleeve with the elastic that we've seen a couple times now. And then also has this detail where you basically sew a little tie into the fabric and then pull it together to create this like fold in the fabric a little bit. If you undid this, it would be much looser. Like it would hang away from the body like a lot. Look how cute it is in a print. I love that. It looks like really difficult and really fancy, but it's really, really easy to sew. And then you have this little flounce detail. Oh, and look, they even have a crew neckline, which is nice as well. And then here it is in like a pink, like solid satin. Oh, and this has an interesting sleeve detail as well. Cute. Cute, cute. Cute, cute. They're all so cute. There's the keyhole detail they mentioned, center back seam. Okay, line drawings are as follows. So same bodice for all three except for the neckline. And then you have 3 different sleeves. Look at this one. That's really cool. It kind of just like, I don't know if it's a pin tuck or exactly how you would phrase it, but cute little detail on the sleeve for sure. It's like a statement sleeve without it having to be gigantic and huge like McCall's was. All right, yardage is charmeuse, double georgette, crepe. Yeah, lightweight, drapey for sure. And then you need a button and some elastic, depending on your view. And then here are the fabric requirements. Less than 2 yards, 2 yards or less. All right, next up we have this little number here, which kind of looks a little bit familiar. Maybe like, oh Lord, who's the designer with all like the really funky asymmetrical stuff? Oh, shoot, I can't remember. You guys know who I'm talking about. This looks like something she would have designed, right? Mrs. Top with overlays and sleeve variations. Okay. Sizing is alphanumeric, so extra small to medium and then large to 2X. This also looks to be like a knit top. And my goodness. Well, I thought that it was a neckband issue, but I actually think it's just maybe some of the drape from the fabric. But look at all of this hand stitching, like this pick stitching. This is all done by hand. With embroidery thread, I guess. But yeah, so this whole part here is an overlay, and then you've got all these color blocking opportunities. But this pick stitching, my goodness. It's a cute detail, especially whenever they use the contrast, like fuchsia color to contrast it. That's a cute idea. Here it is in a print mixing situation. That's really cute too. Obviously they just did top stitching here. Even though this fabric is like kind of wild, I don't know even what it is. Like, what are those things? But I like the idea of like, you know, a print with a stripe. I love that. That's such an easy way to do print mixing. Yeah, it's a cute little design for sure. Here's the line drawings. So I think the difference between A and B is the length and then whether or not one of the sleeves is color blocked, which, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's really it though. Oh, Katherine Tilton. Yes, that's who I was thinking of. Okay. Okay, I thought she was a designer for McCall's, but okay, she's a designer for Butterick. Okay, that makes so much more sense now. Okay, got it. No wonder it looked just like her stuff, because it was. Okay, so yeah, it is a stretch. It is a knit garment, 35% stretch, cotton knits, jersey, interlock, and rayon knits. And then here are your fabric requirements. So, yeah, I mean, you got to add them up, you know, top A plus the contrast, and then top B plus the contrast. Anytime you're doing color blocking or print blocking, it's going to take more fabric than doing it all in one fabric because, you know, you're not able to do the pattern Tetris as well. All right, next up. Oh, this one's quite cute. Okay, Mrs. Button Front Top with band, collar, and sleeve variations. We've got 6 to 14 and 14 to 22 on the size range. And it appears that this is a pretty just standard button-down top with, you know, the long dart. It's got the button band. It's got a stand collar. And then the little cuff has this little notch detail, which is so easy to do and so cute. One of the patterns I recently made, I can't remember which one it was, had that, and I absolutely love it. It was my that denim shirt dress that I made. And then just your standard shirt hem. Then you've got this version, the exact same situation with the bodice, but this really cute little lantern sleeve. Oh, and then this one has like pleats on it, or like pin tucks, and then also the addition of some trim. Just a way to elevate a basic white button down. So same bodice for all three, I think, and then 3 different sleeves. Here's the back. Obsessed with this, obviously. You guys know this is like an extended fisheye dart. So it starts up here somewhere, goes all the way through the waist, and then down to like the high hip. So really, really nice, deep fisheye dart. And look, a stranded thread. Oh, man. All right. So the line drawings, yeah, so same bodice, right? Yep, same bodice, and 3 different sleeve options. So that's a really cute, fun idea, to swap out your sleeves. Okay, so cotton blends, broadcloth, lightweight linen, crepe de chine, crepe. Obviously, shirtings would be involved in that. I guess that falls into cotton blends. 4 buttons, some lace and elastic for that 3rd version. And then here are your fabric requirements. Interfacing for 2¼ yards of interfacing. My goodness. It should just be for the button band, maybe the collar. Why in heaven's name do you need 2¼ yards for that? That can't be right. Look, interfacing for B and C is only 7/8. Yeah, something's not right here. Something's not adding up. I don't know. There's really no reason why A would have, maybe the cuffs are interfaced, so that's why it would have a little bit more, but my goodness, not, a yard and change more. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. All right, I think this is our penultimate pattern to review. This is a Mrs. Top tunic and sash. Size options are 8 to 16 and then 18 to 26. Now, tell me why that's not a women's pattern. I don't get it. I just don't get it at all. So I guess the moral of the story here is for all of you that are considered, women's size or plus size, you got to go through and check all the patterns, because sometimes it'll go up to a 26 even though it's labeled as a Mrs. Oh, Lord. Okay. Mrs. Pullover top has V-neck with yoke and neck, sleeve, and hem variations. Okay, so the first version is this, like a V-neck, but with this band, which is actually constructed a lot like a Henley is, just without the buttons to keep it closed. And then you've got your stand collar. You've got a bit of a, gathered sleeve cap. And then I think the bodice just hangs. There's no seaming here at all. The sash is what is pulling everything in. And then your sleeve is gathered into a cuff, and a lot of gathering going into that cuff. It does appear to be a little bit long on her, so something to keep in mind. Then we've got this version, which is the same but without the stand collar. This has got to be some kind of like crepe or something, I think. And then you've got your elasticated sleeve hem here, nice little bubble sleeve. The hem is, I think, straight across, little baby hem. And then you've got this version, which is the same as the first in the bodice without the sash, but then you've got this really cute sleeve detail. And for the record, you guys can do this sleeve detail to just about any pattern. You just need to make sure that your sleeve hem is wide enough, and then you just insert a casing for an elastic. No big deal. This one also does have a bit of a curved hem. I don't know if the other two, I couldn't really tell if they had that as well. No, they don't. So this is straight across. So hem details as well. Or hem variations, I mean. Here's the back. So it does have a yoke with a little bit of gathering. And then here are our line drawings. Okay, yardage. Cotton blends, crepe de chine, georgette, chalet, charmeuse. Yeah, all of those that have like the lightweight drapey quality. Any of your silky prints, any of that kind of stuff. And you need some elastic and some buttons just to finish off those sleeve details. And then here are your fabric requirements. Not a ton of fabric at all. So that's good. All right, and then last but not least, I think we've got a skirt. Yeah, Mrs. Skirt, 6 to 14, and then 16 to 24 on the size range. It is the most frustrating thing to me whenever they are selling a skirt and then they cover up, you know, I don't know, what is that? Like a eighth of the skirt. Like I need to see this to know what's going on, right? Like, yeah, her outfit's pretty, but if you're trying to sell the skirt, like I want to see all of it, you know? But either way, it looks like we've got some kind of wrap situation. I can't totally tell what's happening. I don't think there's a seam here, but this seems to kind of come out of nowhere. Where this like ruffle starts, or not even a ruffle, just where the curved hem begins. Really beautiful. I think I have a skirt or a dress or something with that same shape. Really pretty. Obviously, the wrong side of the fabric shows, so you want to make sure that you find something that, you know, it doesn't have to be the same front to back, but you just want it to be pretty. Okay, and so now you can see a little bit better. There's definitely something happening here. Maybe just a dart, and then you've got like a separate piece. So there's like I guess a yoke, and then the skirt. And this one is ankle length. You could easily make it a maxi skirt, but fitted through the waist and hip and then starts to flare out. So again, another one of those like mermaid type of designs. This one, oh good, they tucked the shirt in. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, it's just a flat waist. It's got maybe a facing on the inside. There's no waistband, no ties. I don't even see where the zipper is, so it must be on the side. And then, yeah, again, fitted through the waist and hip, and then flares away with this really pretty flounce. And then there's the back of hers. Again, some little darting happening here, which makes sense to get it fitted in the waist. Okay. Yeah, I think we pretty much got it. Although, what was that horizontal one in the striped? I don't know what was going on with that. But either way. So you have this angled hem, angled yoke, I guess. It was hard to see in the floral print. And then you've got this really beautiful, almost like a circle skirt added to a yoke. That's kind of how it works. It's maybe not a full circle, but it's a big flounce. I gotta imagine this takes a lot of fabric. But then you have your darting in the front and the back and a side zip. And then this one just eliminated the like high-low hem. So yardage here is crepe, challis, rayon, satin, and even jersey. So you can make it with knits as well. And then you just need one little zipper. And yeah, fabric requirements are more than 2 yards. Just because that, circle skirts and anything with like a flounce do take up quite a bit of fabric. So, all right. All right. So that appears to be it. That is the Butterick Spring Collection. I want to try and find the what's it called? Lookbook. Maybe it's under here. Butterick Lookbook. This is it, right? Yeah, okay. So, what did you guys think? I think that Butterick is definitely targeting an older, more mature style, not necessarily the woman that wears it, but if you have a style that is a little bit more mature, if you prefer, the Ann Taylor to the Ann Taylor Loft, if you prefer like a Chico's, you know what I mean? Not necessarily giving in to all the trends, but making really beautiful clothes with nods to the trends. Like we still have the sleeve, statement sleeves. We still have the collar, the statement collar. So trends are still happening, just not as extreme as McCall's. So kind of like in between McCall's and Simplicity. I don't know necessarily that I'm going to remember any of these. Not a lot of these are jumping out at me as something that I have to have. Maybe like a dress like this. But I think part of that too is like the state of the world right now. And these types of like, they're kind of dressy to me. You know what I mean? Like all these women have high heels on, fitted stuff. You know what I mean? Like who's wearing a pencil skirt right now? So I don't know necessarily that this fits my lifestyle right now. So maybe like in a year or so, I'll come back and look at these and have a different opinion. But for right now, I'm probably going to pass on a lot of them. Maybe all of them. But I would love to hear what you guys think, especially those of you that were just like, what the heck with the McCall's collection? And also with the Simplicity collection. I'd love to know if this is screaming your name and if you will be buying up some of these in the next pattern sale. But that is going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all very soon. Bye.